What's up, guys? It's your boy Devin here, and up until now, my game has been using the good old keyboard and mouse for input, which is totally fine if you're just making a game for PC or laptops. But let's be real. We want to take this game to the next level and put it on Android, iOS, and all sorts of other platforms. That's where the new input system really shines. Now, you might be wondering, but Devin, what's the big deal with the old Unity input system? It's been around forever. Well, let me break it down for you. There are 4 major reasons why the new input system is the way to go. First off, it's got way better cross-platform support. Whether you want to support Xbox, PlayStation, or any other platform or console, the new input system has got your back. It works with all types of devices, including touchscreens, and even those fancy digital pens. And second, it's event-based instead of hole-based. What does that mean? And basically, it uses fewer resources than constantly checking for input in the update function. In the old input system, we had to keep checking for input in the update loop on each frame, which wasn't the most efficient way to do things. But with the new input system, we've got this cool publish subscribe mechanism that only triggers the function when the button is pressed. It's more optimized and makes debugging a breeze. Thirdly, switching bindings is a piece of cake. No more manually binding different buttons in the code. You can just open up the input manager and change the key. Like if you're currently using the right arrow key to move right, but you want to use V instead, no problem. Just open the input manager, bind a different key, and you're good to go. Plus, you can have both keys assigned for moving right if you want. So yeah, the new input system takes care of all the heavy lifting for you. Yo, sure, setting it up might take a bit of work at first, but trust me, it's totally worth it in the long run, especially as your game keeps growing and getting more awesome. Now let's talk about touchscreens, because that's where things can get a little tricky. You see, the control scheme for my game isn't exactly straightforward when it comes to touchscreens. There's a lot of different inputs to consider, and it can get pretty messy if you're not careful. For example, I've got tap and hold to swing, swipe to attack, and you need to be able to activate attacks and swings anywhere on the screen. And that's a lot of different inputs to juggle, and it's easy for things to start colliding with each other. But I managed to handle all of these inputs by writing some custom code. It wasn't a walk in the park, but with a little bit of elbow grease and a lot of trial and error, I managed to create a control scheme that works like a charm on touch screens. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Devin, writing custom code sounds like a lot of work. And you're right, it is. But trust me, it's worth it in the end. By taking the time to create a custom control scheme for touchscreens, you're making sure that your game is accessible to a wider audience. And that's always a good thing. If you're working on a game with a complex control scheme, don't be afraid to roll up your sleeves and write some custom code. It might take some extra effort, but in the end, your game will run smoothly on any device. And that's a wrap for today, folks. Keep coding, keep innovating, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.